When it comes to food media, very few hosts like to get on camera and drop a recipe for something that calls for a pre-blended spice mix, and there are a couple of reasons why. They are all pre-ground, which can affect freshness, so it doesn't look super soigné for an illustrious TV chef to use them on cam. They are not universal. If I tell you to use Smokin' Joe's Pit Spit Hellfire Shake and Rub, you probably won't have immediate access to it. And they are oftentimes kind of derivative. Like, what am I really buying when I purchase Trader Jose's taco seasoning or Buon Appetito Italian seasoning? Still, just about everyone uses spice mixes. So instead of telling you which specific blends to buy, here's a guide to shopping for some new ones. There are 5 things I look for, and the first one is filler ingredients. On rare occasions, some cheap brands like McCormick will try to stretch their seasoning with junk. Look at the ingredients on this taco seasoning. The #1 ingredient is ground corn. If a spice blend contains more filler than my IG Explore tab, it's a hard pass. Next, salinity. See if the label indicates the presence of salt as the first or second ingredient, and if so, adjust accordingly so you don't double salt your food. This chorizo mix is unsalted, meaning I can add the correct amount of salt to my food first and then cake on the powder with impunity. This green chili seasoning does have salt, which comes in handy when I'm hungry and grumpy and just want to make a pound of chicken thighs as quickly as possible. I take some meat, shower it in powder, and it's ready to cook. Third, check to see if your spice mix has sugar in it. If it does, whether that's in the form of sucrose or dried fruit, it will burn much more easily than an unsweetened mix would. This mango habanero powder is good, but I wouldn't just shake it onto some meat before torching it on a white hot grill the way that I would with a generic grilling blend. Next, investigate the texture. Look at this generic grilling blend. The flavor profile is not bad, but the texture varies wildly. The garlic and onion are coarsely ground, so they clog up the sprinkle holes, and the salt is finely ground, so it falls to the bottom. I can see what they were going for, but what ends up happening is that depending on the application motion, you might get a shower of salt or an avalanche of unsalted chunks. This whole thing was like $3, so I'm not expecting world-class spice design. I just try to shake it up before using the wide slot for unrestricted distribution. I saved the most obvious tip for last, and that's to see which spices actually comprise the mix. Just because 2 different brands offer the same spice blend doesn't mean that they taste even remotely similar, and anyone who, like me, has accidentally purchased everything bagel seasoning with caraway seeds or Cajun seasoning with celery seeds in it knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's really hard to buy things that are labeled curry powder or poultry seasoning when those names are so vague and nebulous. So when I find something that I do like, I tend not to stray. In practice, the spice mixes that I always keep stocked are something flavorful, salty, and spicy that I can apply to any meat for a quick meal. Sprinkle it on a chicken thigh and pan sear it. Pie spice mix for when I want a quick hit of winter spices without measuring out cloves and ginger and cinnamon and nutmeg. Use this for oatmeal or pancakes or protein shakes. Something bright and fruity like lemon pepper or togarashi or the aforementioned mango habanero powder. These are always a hit on fried food like chicken wings and tater tots. Something impossibly complex that I can use as a shortcut to Flavor Town like garam masala or dukkha or ras al hanout. Good for dips or sauces or veggies, roasted and raw alike. Lastly, something familiar and pedestrian that helps to mask venturesome ingredients in a sense of familiarity. It does in fact help to have a 99-cent pack of Taco Bell adjacent seasoning or Hidden Valley ranch powder just in case I need to make a meatless burrito out of lentils or a healthy ranch out of yogurt. So, long story short, it makes sense for just about everyone to own and use pre-blended spices, but it's hard to include them in food edutainment because of how much they vary. And if there's one thing that food media audiences hate, it's variability. So I'll see you next month. Or next week. I don't know. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. F you. Love you. Bye. House has paid to be mentioned today, and I think they'd appreciate being talked about in a video all about reading labels. Most alcoholic beverages keep their ingredients and nutritional facts secret, but you can actually see what's inside a bottle of House. Now that I've gotten so many House shipments, I've finally tried every single flavor, which means I'm able to rank them in descending order of personally perceived deliciousness. Peach passion fruit reigns supreme. It also means that I have come up with a couple of my own House cocktail recipes, and this is my current favorite. 1 shot of room temperature House, a squeeze of good runny honey. 2 viewers named Mark and Dana sent me some from their backyard hive, and a scoop of crushed or pellet ice. Shake everything together to chill, dilute, and aerate, and then pour it into a coupe glass. It ends up tasting like a $14 cocktail, even though it just contains 2 real ingredients and a little forearm action. So try House now, get 15% off of your order when you use my code InternetShaquille4 and click the link in my description box.